My name is Suniti. Welcome to this class where the invitation is to be with your breath. When you breathe, your body moves. When you breathe, your body is changing shape. So let's bring our hands together like we're holding onto an imaginary balloon. And when you inhale, allow that balloon to expand. And as you exhale, let it condense. And do that sometimes for yourself. Include your breath. So when you inhale, your hands are expanding and this imaginary balloon is expanding. And when you exhale, feeling into how it condenses. Keep going and notice how that is in relationship to your lungs. Expanding and condensing. Feel your whole body in movement when you breathe. Your respiratory rhythm can be found throughout the entire body, even in your toes. Expanding and condensing. And release that. So this is a movement experiment, and the invitation is to really move like yourself. I'll offer prompts that hopefully allow you to move in a free way that feels good to you. I'm going to use the floor without a yoga mat and without a blanket because I'm going to want to slide a little bit. But feel free to prep your space however you want so that you're comfortable. All right, and then when you're ready, lay down. And lay down so that the legs have some space between them and your arms can be out on the diagonal. I feel like a star. Bring your attention to your breath and notice your hands. As you inhale, spread through your hands and reach through your fingers. As you exhale, curl your fingers in and make a little fist. And do that for yourself a few more times. So inhale, opening your hands, and exhale, closing your hands. Find your own rhythm. And notice how your hands here are mirroring your lungs, expanding and condensing. And now add your feet. As you inhale, spread through your toes, open up the bottoms of your feet. As you exhale, make a fist and let your feet relax. And again, inhale, open your hands, open your feet. As you exhale, let that rest. One more time. Inhale, opening hands, opening feet. As you exhale, release that. Now bring your hands to your low belly. And imagine that you're inhaling and exhaling through the low belly. So that when you inhale, it's like you're bringing in air through the belly. And imagine that that's spreading out into your edges, out into your tail and your head and your feet and your hands. And as you exhale, imagine that it's coming back, returning to the belly to then release into space. And now we'll exaggerate that movement with the whole body. So returning to your star, inhale, spread and reach through your feet and your hands. Exhale, come into a little ball. So you'll bring your knees into your chest, bring your head towards your knees, your hands towards your shins, curling in towards the low belly. Inhale, expand out, back to that star, to where you just were. And exhale, knees into your chest, hands to your shins, curling in, feet to or head to knees, and then inhale, expand. And exhale, curl in. And continue like that on your own timing. What would it be like now to continue this movement, but to be moved by your breath? Be moved by your breath. How does that change the movement? With your knees hugged into your chest, let yourself roll over to your side. Curling in towards your little ball. Feel your low belly. Staying on your side with an inhale, expand on your side body and reach through your fingers and toes. And as you exhale, curl back in to that little ball on your side. And then continue, inhale, reaching out through fingers and toes. And as you exhale, we're curling in. Inhale, reaching, still on the side body, expanding. And exhale, condensing, coming into that little ball. And then spread back out into your star. And pause. Feel the ground. And then bring your knees into your chest. And roll to your other side. As you're ready, inhale, expand from your belly out to your fingers and toes. And exhale, curling in. Inhale, expand out through your fingers and toes. And exhale, curling in, staying on the side, curling into your fetal position. And then expanding when the next inhale comes in. And curling in. And spread back out into your star. And again, exhale and notice the ground. Reach your hands and your feet up towards the sky. And again, remember the breath in the hands and the feet. And let yourself creatively gesture into space. So like your hands and your feet are talking with the air, reaching into the air. And then subtle little movements where they condense and soften. And of course, this can happen in your wrists, in your elbows, ankles, and knees. And now, what would it be like if you included your breath? What wants to happen to your limbs when you inhale? And what wants to happen to your limbs when you exhale? And let them dance and play in space. Creative gestures where you get to move like yourself. What do your arms do when you inhale? What do your legs do? What happens on the exhale? And now in this, be moved. Like you stop doing the movement and instead you let the breath inform what happens next. Roll to your side again, and then push down through a hand to come up to sit on the side of your leg and your outer hip, and then you'll bring the other hand down. You're kind of leaning. It is push, that quality of push into the ground that moves us through space. We do it all the time when we're walking. So your hand here is touching the floor, and you're going to push that hand down to then move your spine. And then you'll simply return or rest back into the hand touching the ground. Then you push to move your spine, and then simply resting and returning to the ground. So keep doing that on your own. And you can imagine that your spine is like a kite moving through space, and that your hand is like the anchored part, the bottom of the string being held by someone's hand. So you're rooted, and then you have this creative spine gesturing in space. And now include your breath. So what happens when you inhale to your spine? And can the exhale support you as well, returning you to the earth? And then inhale. A few more times like that. Include your breath and your creative spine. Bring your other hand down and transition towards all fours. And then begin to move your spine however you wish. Again, with this curiosity of being moved. What does my spine want to do when I inhale? What does it want to do on the exhale? And can I surrender into the breath and be moved by it? And when you're ready, we'll come back to sit on the outer hip. Bring a hand down, feel into the ground, feel into your roots, and then again we push to move the spine, and then we melt back down into the ground. We push to move the spine, and then we melt. Keep going like that. Feel into your creative, beautiful, incredible spine moving as you push into the hand. And again, include your breath. Follow the fullness of the inhale. And then what wants to happen on the exhale? We push to explore and inhale, and the exhale. And then again, we'll come back to all fours. And then again, move your spine. Say hello to your spine and how your spine wants to move in relationship to your breath. Let yourself melt towards the ground. Melting, melting, melting. Get closer, closer, closer to the ground. And now we'll push through one hand to then come back up towards a mid-level posture. And we'll improvise with that just for a couple minutes. So you're going to melt. And then you'll rise just up to mid-level. And then melt. Find different pathways. And then through push, lift. And follow your breath. And what is it like to find new pathways? New pathways up and down. In order to come up, something else has to go down. Now through this up and down, include your breath like a wave, like the inhale comes in. What does it do? The exhale comes in. How does it move you? And let yourself be surprised. So there's a willingness to not know. So we can enter into some more possibility. What is this inhale going to inspire? What is this exhale going to inspire? Last minute here with all of this. Move however you want to move. Drop into the breath and let it move you. Almost like you've just, put your raft in the river and you're going to let it carry you. And as you're ready, melt yourself back down to the floor, pausing to listen and to notice some of the the residue from that movement. Bend your knees to place your feet on the floor and bring your hands to your low belly. Notice how your belly moves when you breathe. The changing shape. When we breathe, we're being touched on the inside. Imagine that there's a balloon inside of your pelvis. And when you inhale, the balloon expands and it presses against the interior walls of your pelvic bowl. And when you exhale, imagine that the balloon is condensing. And keep feeling into that visualization of a balloon expanding, touching the inner walls of the pelvis in front of the sacrum. And then it softens and returns closer to center. Then we inhale, there's this expansion, and it condenses. And then release that visualization and let yourself rest for a moment with nothing to do. Feel the touch of the ground, be with the ground. And be with your breath, your amazing breath, miraculous breath. This exchange of inside and outside. As you're ready, we'll find more movement in the body again. Waking up, finding some length. Whew. And eventually, you'll come on up to your seat. Notice what it's like to see while simultaneously being with your breath. Notice what it's like to see while simultaneously being with the movement of breath in your own body. Thank you so much for experimenting with me and joining me for this class.